right, 4th grade. This is lesson 6.6. Now 6.6 talks about patterns in shapes. Okay, shape patterns. So we're going to do our explore and grow, and I'll do this one with you. Alright, so it says create a rule using 3 different shapes. So remember, a rule is the pattern that the numbers or the shapes follow. Okay, so for a shape pattern, my rule could just be square, hexagon, triangle. So I'm going to pick 3 shapes. I'm going to do circles, triangle, square, because that's easy to draw. Okay, circle, triangle, square. So that is my rule. My rule is circle, triangle, square. It says draw the first 6 shapes in the pattern. Well, here's my first 3. Circle, triangle, square, circle, triangle, square. There we go. It's that simple. Great. What would be the next shape in the pattern? Well, for my pattern, because I did circle, triangle, square, my next shape would be a circle. So you can just draw that. You don't have to write it out. If you're, you don't have to write circle. You can just draw a circle or a triangle or whatever your pattern that you chose. I would say maybe, pick your own shapes. Don't always copy the patterns that I'm telling you. What is the 9th shape in the pattern? Explain. Okay, well, we could go and we could draw it out until we get to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, circle, 8, 9. So my 9th is a square. But if they go and ask you something like, well, and to explain, well, I just did it out until my 9th one. So I just drew it out till the 9th shape. But if they want to know what is the 99th shape, well, friends, that's going to take a little more time if you're going to draw out every single shape up to 99. And then it also wants to know what is the 1000th shape. You are not going to want to take the time to draw out 1000 square, triangle, or circle, triangle, square, circle, triangle, square. Okay, so let's look at the pattern that we have. Remember, with our number patterns, we circled every 3rd one. Well, if you look, we have a rule of 3, right? Every 3, it repeats. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So every multiple of 3 is going to be a square. Okay, so the 9th shape in the pattern, 9 is a multiple of 3. So my 9th shape is going to be a square. What is a 99th shape? Well, 99, 9 and 9 are multiples of 3, right? 18, 9 plus 9 is a multiple of 3. So the 99th shape is going to be another square, because every 3rd one, every multiple of 3 is a square. So the 99th shape is going to be a square, because 99 is a multiple of 3. What is the 1000th shape? Well, think about the number that comes right before 1000. The number that comes right before 1000 is 999, right? And then 1000. Well, 999, 999, those are all multiples of 3. If you add them up, you would get 27, which is a multiple of 3. If you add up 2 and 7, you'd get 9, which is a multiple of 3. So the 999th shape is a multiple of 3, so it's going to be a square. Okay, so if the 999th shape is a square, then my 1000th shape is a circle. Because 999 is a multiple of 3, and so then the 1000th shape will be the one that comes after the square, which is a circle. All right. So let's look at our structure. You want to show the first 40 shapes in the pattern above. So in the pattern that you created up here. Without modeling, how many of each shape do you think you will need? All right. So 40. To find how many times the pattern repeats, which will tell you how many of each shape you would need, you're going to take that number that they want. So they want 40 shapes. And you're going to take that number and you're going to divide it, by your rule, your number. Well, my rule is every 3. So we're going to divide by 3. Okay? 4 divided by 3 is 1. You can go in ones without going over. 3 times 1 is 3. We subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1. We bring down our 0. 3 can go into 10. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. So 12 is too big. So 9, so 3 times 3 is the biggest we can get without going over. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, and then we subtract. 10 minus 9 is 1. So we have 1 left over. Okay, so in a repeating pattern of 3, it's going to always start with a circle, triangle, then square, at least in the pattern that I chose. So we have 13 whole sets of the pattern of each circle, triangle, square, 3 times. So we know that each one is going to have at least 13, but we have 1 left over, which means we have 1 shape that comes after a set of 3. Well, what comes after a set of 3? My set of 3 is circle, triangle, square. So there are 13 sets of 3, and then 1 more shape. Well, what comes after the square? Another circle. Okay, so there's 1 extra circle. Whatever's at the beginning of your pattern, there's going to be 1 extra. So I would say circles, I have 14, triangles, I have 13, and squares, I have 13. Because again, drawing out this whole thing 40 times, or 40 shapes, that's going to take you a while. And then you still have to sit and count them. Dividing it and using a little bit of the knowledge that we have makes it a little bit easier to find that information. Alright, so let's look at some more, because I don't want to just lose you and confuse you. Alright, create a shape pattern by repeating the rule triangle, hexagon, square, rhombus. What is the 42nd shape in the pattern? Okay, so they've drawn out the pattern for you. Triangle, hexagon, square, rhombus, triangle, hexagon, square, rhombus, and then it would continue. Okay, to find the 42nd shape in the pattern. Well, how many shapes are in the pattern before it repeats? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it repeats. So it has 4. So we're going to divide 42 by 4. There's 4 shapes in the pattern. So 4 can go to 4 1 time. 4 times 4 is 1. We subtract. Bring down our 2. 4 cannot go into 2 evenly. Can't go into 2 at all. So 4 times 0, 0 is the closest we can get. So we subtract 0. So we have 2 left over. So this pattern repeats 10 times. So the 40th shape, when 4 repeats 10 times, you get 40, is going to be the last shape in the pattern. So the 40th is going to be a rhombus, and then we have 2 left over. So the 42nd is going to be a triangle, the 41st is going to be a triangle, and then the 42nd is going to be a hexagon. Alright, let's look at this little dot pattern that we've got here. Describe the dot pattern. How many dots are in the 25th figure? Okay, figure 1 has 1 column of 4 dots. So it has 1 times 4 equals 4. Figure 2 has 2 columns of 4 dots. So 2 times 4 is 8. Figure 3 has 3 columns of 4 dots, so 3 times 4. So our pattern is, for each figure, we're adding 1 more column of 4. So if we want to know the 25th, what the 25th figure is going to look like, well, we know that the 25th figure has 25 columns of 4 dots. So we're going to do 25 times 4. So we're going to do 25 times 4, 4 times 5, 20, carry our 2, we're going to add it. 4 times 2 is 8, 9, 10. So there are going to be 100 dots in the 25th figure. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go over the number 1 and 2 with you just to make sure that we've got this figured out, that we've got this down. Okay, so it says extend the pattern of shapes by repeating the rule square, trapezoid, triangle, hexagon, triangle. Okay, so the first step is you're just gonna fill in the lines with the next shapes. So after the triangle, the second triangle, we repeat it again. So you draw a square, hexagon, square, trapezoid, triangle, hexagon, triangle. Okay, then it wants to know the 108th shape. Okay, well, how many shapes are in this pattern before it repeats? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it repeats. So there are 5 shapes in the pattern. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the 108th shape. So we're going to divide by 5. The reason we're dividing by 5 is because there are 5 shapes in the pattern. In our one up here, there were 4 shapes, so we divided by 4. In our first one, in the example, there were 3 in the set, so we divided by 3. Okay, so I hope this isn't getting too confusing for you. So we're going to divide by 5 because there are 5 shapes in the pattern. So 5 can't go into 1. 5 times nothing will equal 1. So that's 1. Bring down our 0. 5 can go into 10. It's a multiple of 5. It can go in twice. All right. 5 times 2 is 10. Then we subtract, leaving us with 0. Bring down our 8. 5 can go into 8 one time without going over, because remember 5 times 2 is 10, which is too big. So it can go in once. So 5 times 1 is 5. We're going to subtract. 8 minus 5 is 3. So 3, because we're to the last number, 3 is our remainder. Okay, so this pattern repeats 21 times with 3 left over. Okay, so we're going to look, it repeats 21 times with 3 left over. So 21 will get us to our triangle. That's the last one. And then it's got 3 more. So then we repeat the pattern and we count 1, 2, 3. So after the triangle, it repeats back to the square. So we count 1, 2, 3. So the 108th shape is a triangle. Okay? So you'll fill that in, and then it wants to know what is the 108th shape. It is a triangle. Because we did it, there were 21 whole patterns, which will get you to the end, and then there were 3 leftovers, and then you count 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then number 2, I'll do this one with you as well. Describe the dot pattern. How many dots is in the 76th figure? Okay, well first let's figure out our pattern. Figure 1 has 3 dots. 1, 2, 3. Figure 2 has 2 rows of 3 dots. Figure 3 has 1, 2, 3 rows of 3 dots. So the dot pattern adds 3 dots every time. If we want to know the 76th figure, we'll notice figure 1 has 1 row, figure 2 has 2 rows, figure 3 has 3 rows. Figure 76 is going to have 76 rows. And in each row there are 3 dots. So we're going to do 76 times 3. So 6 times 3 is 18. Put our 1 here, or our 8 here, I'm sorry. Carry our 1 up here. We're going to add it once we multiply. 3 times 7 is 21. And then we're going to add our 1, so 21 plus 1 is 22. So there will be 228 dots in the 76th figure. All right, let's look at our word problems, and then I will finish up this lesson. All right, so with word problems, you make a necklace with cube, hexagon, and star beads. You string the beads in a pattern. you use the rule cube star, cube hexagon. Okay, so that's our rule. That's our pattern. It takes 64 beads to complete the necklace. How many times does your pattern repeat? Okay, so what we're going to do to find how many times it repeats, we're going to find the number of sets in the pattern. Okay, so there are cube, star, cube, hexagon. So there are 4 shapes in the rule. So we're going to divide by 4. So we're going to divide that 64 by 4. So let's do that. 64 divided by 4. All right, so 4 can go into 6. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, so that's too big, so it can only go in once without going over. 4 times 1 is 4. Gonna subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2, then we're gonna bring down our 4. 4 goes into 24. It can go in evenly. 4 times 6, right? 6 times 4 is 24. So 4 times 6 is 24, which leaves us with nothing left over. So our pattern repeats 16 times. Your pattern repeats 16, not 15, sorry, 16 times. All right, so this is what lesson 6.6 is about. This is the last lesson in your book before you go into the reviews and stuff for the chapter. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm always happy to help, and I will see you next time. Bye.